parking lot. Oh, shit.
I'm looking at pure destruction. Vehicles tossed, trees completely debarked. I'm actually staring right at an American flag in the middle of, I'm not sure what this used to be. It's complete rubble now, but it's just apocalyptic.
In Sharkey County and Rolling Fork, Mississippi, cell towers have been heavily damaged here, which is why we're not being able to go live on air. But what we're looking at here is just utter devastation, Jim. Structures that have just been reduced to rubble. One local official says that his town looks like a landfill, and it really does. There's just debris stretching out for miles here. It is really hard to say this, but it doesn't seem like any of the town really was able to escape any of the damage. A lot of the structures, most of the structures that we've seen have had significant damage to them, and just in the last several minutes, we've seen some what we believe to be cadaver dogs going through some of the harder hit sites.
So I'm looking around town, and I'm saying, I know we can rebuild, but what you do with the devastation? What you do with all the... I'm glad I'm by myself.
How are your family and friends? Do you know if
I'm
everybody's
still
okay?
looking. The phone's been going in and out. You be talking to them, it goes out. Then you look at it, then you get power. So as far as my friends and things, everybody's calling. I had one to come in from Vicksburg to check on me, but it's just overwhelming.
Boy, oh boy, Mississippi is finding out about Trump. Roll that clip.
In Tylertown, Mississippi, where residents say they're still waiting for federal assistance some 2 months after a tornado tore through their town.
I know President Trump said that America first, we're going to help our American folks first, but we haven't seen the federal folks down here.
Sir, I'm sorry to hear that, but I don't know if you know how this administration works. All you got to do is get with the White House when they're having that next $1 million plate deal. You know what I mean? Where you got to pay $1 million to meet the president so he can line his pockets with your money. And then maybe then he'll answer your call. You understand? Because, sir, we have a corrupt president. This nation put a felon, a convicted felon, a fraud in the White House who don't care about you, sir, whatsoever. You got to call him up and give him $1 million to him, and then he'll listen, man. Sorry about your luck. Moderate out.
In the heart of America, where communities are built on faith, resistance, and hard work, disasters stalk without mercy. A devastating tornado tore through Mississippi, flattening homes, destroying livelihood, and leaving thousands with nothing but debris and questions. This is true verdict. Relax as I break it down. Special credit to the original Stitches video used in this documentary.
God saved my life. To hear that ruin for those 5-6 seconds seemed like a lifetime, and I just knew, I just can't describe the feeling of being just swept in this tub and just from that force of this train. I can't get that out of my head every 45, 50 minutes. It just come back to me. It's come to me that I'll never forget it for the rest of my life, that sound that I heard. I'll never forget it. And I was able to grab the top But they took and pulled it down over my head. So the rain and the lightning wouldn't strike me. And 5 minutes later, it was over. And I realized then that I was still here. And all I could hear was a bunch of hollering and screaming and, we're here, help, help, and it's sad. It was sad. It was a sad situation, but I thank God that I'm here.
I'm looking at pure destruction. Vehicles tossed, trees completely debarked. I'm actually staring right at an American flag in the middle of, I'm not sure what this used to be. It's complete rubble now, but it's just apocalyptic.
In Sharkey County and Rolling Fork, Mississippi, cell towers have been heavily damaged here, which is why we're not being able to go live on air. But what we're looking at here is just utter devastation, Jim. Structures that have just been reduced to rubble. One local official says that his town looks like a landfill, and it really does. There's just debris stretching out for miles here. It is really hard to say this, but it doesn't seem like any of the town really was able to escape any of the damage. A lot of the structures, most of the structures that we've seen have had significant damage to them, and just in the last several minutes, we've seen some what we believe to be cadaver dogs going through some of the harder hit sites.
The damage in Tylertown, Mississippi is catastrophic. This drone video shows what's left after deadly storms ripped through the area on Saturday. According to the National Weather Service, 2 tornadoes went through this area in less than an hour. The result, nothing but devastation and debris as far as the eye can see. This deadly storm system has claimed nearly 24 lives, as at least 50 tornadoes were reported across 7 states through the weekend.
The dark February skies produced a tornado that moved through Columbia in southern Mississippi Wednesday afternoon. Homes and businesses were damaged, but thankfully no injuries were reported. Several trees came down as the tornado moved through. WJTV says more than 70 power poles were broken by the tornado. The National Weather Service in Jackson, Mississippi will send someone to survey the damage Thursday. That survey will be used to determine the strength of the tornado. The storm system also produced a tornado in southern Alabama later that afternoon.
So get this, over 40 people are dead after tornadoes tore through Arkansas, Mississippi, and Missouri. Homes have been leveled, entire communities flattened. People lost everything. And what does McDonald Trump do? He denies Arkansas federal disaster aid, just flat out says no. Even Sarah Huckabee Sanders, Trump's former press secretary, now Arkansas's Republican governor, begged him for help. Republican senators from the state, Tom Cotton and John Boozman, also asked for federal support. Local leaders pleaded with him. And McDonald Trump said, no, you're on your own. This isn't some political or partisan stunt. This is a humanitarian crisis. People don't have homes. They don't have power. They don't even have clean water in some places. And McDonald Trump now thinks is the perfect time to test his new policy of making states fend for themselves during natural disasters. Oh, and just to be clear, this is part of a bigger plan. McDonald Trump is actively trying to gut FEMA and shift disaster recovery costs to states. Even though states don't have the infrastructure or resources to handle disasters of this magnitude, especially with climate change making things worse every single year. It's fascist cruelty with a smile. Punish even your own allies if it proves a point. These are his people, red state voters, and he still hung them out to dry. So yeah, if you're still wondering what a second Trump term is going to look like for these next 4 years, it looks like people buried under rubble being told to pick themselves up without help because small government or whatever bullshit excuse they're using this week.
A tornado just hit my town less than 10 minutes away from where I live. This is literally a Mexican restaurant called Azteca's right down the road from us. Like, holy shit, dude. Like, bro. We had our bags packed and everything because we got 2 alerts. Like, we got the one to seek shelter. Good lord. This happened in Jackson County, Mississippi. Van Cleef, Gaucher, and I believe Pascagoula all got hit by this tornado. So far, I have no idea if anyone's been injured or anything because this literally just happened. Like, I'm sorry, I'm still a little shocked that we had a literal tornado less than 10 minutes away. Obviously, I hope that everybody was okay. Everyone that was inside of Ramey's at the grocery store, I hope everyone in there is okay. Anyone that was driving. This shit is scary, dude. This is scary.
Family who once had everything now stand in ruins. No roofs, no power, no certainty about tomorrow. And as the dust settles, a new storm begins to form, not in the sky, but in the mind of those affected. We thought help would come first, but we are still waiting. Mississippi, a state that overwhelmingly supported President Donald Trump in 2024 election, now finds itself asking a difficult question. Where is the help? American First was the promise, a commitment to protect and prioritize American citizens above all. But for many here, the promise few distance. Months after the tornado, some residents said they have yet to see meaningful federal response. No clear response or large-scale disaster relief. No immediate lifeline for those who lost everything. Confusion grows. Frustration builds. Disaster response in United States is complex. Agencies like FEMA often requested formal requests and state coordination and assessment before large-scale aid is deployed. But when people are suffering, delay feel like abandonment. These reports include commentary and footage inspired by a Stitches video circulating online, highlighting the voice of affected residents. Credit to the original creator of the Stitches video used in this documentary. Now, to balance it, it is important to understand disaster relief does not always move at the speed of need. Bureaucracy, logistic, and verification process can slow things down. For family, sleeping in cars or relying on neighbors for food, those explanations does not bring comfort. These are my suggestions for Mississippi residents. Contact local emergency management office. State agency often act fast than federal system. Register immediately for disaster assistance. If the response seems slow, register early. Increase your chance to receive aid. Lean on community network. Churches, local charity, and volunteer group often provide fast relief than government channel. Document everything. Pictures, videos, and record of damage are critical for claims and assistance approval. Stay informed and organized. Follow official updates and avoid misinformation that can delay access to help. Advice to government. For the government, this is a moment of accountability. Act fast. Communicate better. Be visible. Because when people feel abandoned, trust erodes. Disaster response is not just about logistics. It's about reassurance, presence, and leadership. Mississippi is strong. Its people are resilient. But resilience should never replace responsibility. Because in moments like this, America don't just need promises. They need action. If you believe a story like this deserves to be heard, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to Truth Verdict. Because the truth matters and every voice deserves to be heard. For everyone watching, thanks you for being part of the community that value truth, critical thinking, and honest conversation. Stay informed, stay curious, and always question the narrative. See you in the next episode of Truth Verdict. Bye.